Perhaps you have often heard Jungkook's name mentioned in various awards or prestigious lists. But this time the story is somewhat different. Because for the umpteenth time, Jungkook not only appeared at the top of the ranking, he led the entire list of individual K-Brand Index boy groups for October, according to the analysis of the large research institute Asia Brand Research Institute. But what makes it interesting is not just the numbers in the ranking. What left the public, the media, and even market analysts in Korea and abroad speechless was one thing: how Jungkook could maintain this position amid the huge changes in the entertainment industry and the global digital economy. It's not just about fandom or seasonal trends. This has reached a level rarely reached by Asian celebrities, where a person's name becomes a separate ecosystem in the world of brands. To some, perhaps the title of top Hallyu leader sounds like an ordinary award. But if we dig deeper, the term has a very big meaning. Hallyu isn't just about music, it's about the global perception of Korean culture, and Jungkook is now the face most often associated with it. From fashion, to music, to lifestyle, to how to speak, everything Jungkook touches turns into a trend. Even the Chinese media once referred to Jungkook as the global image of modern Korea. That is, the image of modern Korea in the eyes of the world is now attached to him. Interestingly, these predicates don't come from agency promotions, but from data from public behavior, internet searches, social media engagement, and the influence of digital consumption. So, when the Asia Brand Research Institute named it number one, it was not a subjective decision. That's the real result of the power of data and facts that speak for themselves. And, if we pull back, Jungkook's journey to this position is arguably not instant. Many forget that over the past few years, Jungkook has slowly transformed his image from a mere talented young idol to a global symbol of extraordinary economic value. Every activity, both musical and non-musical, always has an incredible domino effect. For example, when she became a Calvin Klein ambassador, the brand immediately recorded the highest increase in digital awareness throughout the year. When he was featured on the Billboard Global 200, some American music labels even used the Jungkook benchmark strategy to measure the effectiveness of their artists' promotions. Simply put, Jungkook is now no longer the benchmark of K-pop, it is the benchmark of the global entertainment industry itself. If you think this ranking is just about popularity on social media, you are very wrong. The Asia Brand Research Institute measures influence through thousands of different indicators, from public engagement on social media, news exposure, commercial activity, to the positive perception generated whenever Jungkook's name is mentioned. And the results were astonishing. During the month of October, Jungkook dominated almost all major categories. In his official report, Jungkook's name appears at the top of the index, far surpassing his fellow idols. More interestingly, analysts noted a 35% jump in positive engagement from the previous month, a huge number in the entertainment world. That means it's not just fans who talk about Jungkook, but also the general public, the media, even global brands that keep mentioning him. This data also shows that Jungkook's influence extends to various demographic layers. In Korea, the younger generation considers it a symbol of youth perfection, a representation of young people who are productive, professional, but still what they are. While in America, Jungkook's name often appears in discussions about the new generation of male icons. Icons of modern men who blend masculinity, art, and humility. Even in Japan, public surveys show that Jungkook is the most respected K-pop artist for 2 consecutive years. All of this leads to one big conclusion. Jungkook is not only the face of BTS, but the face of a new era of Hallyu. Interestingly, this data analysis also found that Jungkook managed to balance two sides that other idols rarely manage: commerciality and credibility. On the one hand, he is the most sought-after figure of big brands such as Calvin Klein, Samsonite, or Balenciaga. But on the other hand, he is still considered an authentic artist who focuses on music and works. This combination makes the brand index not only high in one aspect, but evenly distributed in all categories. In terms of public perception, Jungkook is known to have a high trust factor, a very high level of public trust, which means that whatever he represents, the public will accept him enthusiastically without questioning his authenticity. If we compare the entertainment world like the stock market, then Jungkook's name is a blue chip whose value never drops even when the trend is changing rapidly. Any music release, performance, or public activity can trigger an increase in the value of other brands associated with it. And interestingly, it doesn't need a grand strategy, just one photo, one video, or one small gesture, and the world reacts instantly. In this highly competitive digital age, such consistency is not uncommon, it's a phenomenon. One thing that sets Jungkook apart from most other idols is how he managed to cross the line of the Korean entertainment industry without losing the cultural roots that made him beloved. Many K-pop stars are trying to break into the global market, but not all of them manage to maintain a balance between national identity and universal appeal. Jungkook did it. She can perform on international stages such as the Global Citizen Festival with full confidence, while still carrying a strong Korean feel in her musicality and attitude. Cultural analysts refer to Jungkook's phenomenon as the cultural bridge effect. That is, Jungkook became a link between the Eastern and Western worlds, not by force, but through authenticity, accepted by all parties. In Korea, it is considered a national symbol that carries global pride. In America, he was seen as a young musician with a modern work ethic and aesthetic. In Japan and Southeast Asia, he is a role model for the younger generation. All this is not the result of a big marketing strategy, but the result of a long journey of a person who worked hard without losing his human side. And the results are now clear. Jungkook is not only at the top of the K-brand index, but also in the global collective consciousness as the most influential figure of the current Hallyu generation. Many media outlets have said that when Jungkook appeared, he wasn't just performing, he was redefining the standard of a modern global star. Even Western media outlets such as Rolling Stone and GQ once wrote that Jungkook is the closest thing Asia has to a complete modern pop star. Asia's most complete artist in terms of vocal, visual, and cultural visibility. And so, when we look at the data that put Jungkook at the top, we're actually witnessing more than just numbers. We're seeing historical shifts. The Korean entertainment world has spawned many stars, but only a few have managed to achieve cultural asset status. And Jungkook is now included in it. She is not just a singer, not just a model, but the epitome of a new era that shows that true influence is born of hard work, consistency, and authenticity. Perhaps the world will continue to change, trends will come and go, but one thing is certain: as long as Jungkook's name is still spoken, new standards in the entertainment world will continue to be created. It's not just at the top of the brand index. It is the definition of the peak itself. For marketers and industry analysts, Jungkook's name is not just a public figure, he is an economic phenomenon. Each step has a direct effect on consumer behavior, both in Korea and globally. In a report from the Asia Brand Research Institute, It was even mentioned that the surge in online searches about certain products could increase by 500% in just 24 hours after Jungkook was seen wearing them. The most striking example occurred when Jungkook wore a simple white t-shirt during a live session. In less than an hour, stocks of the same jerseys across major e-commerce sites in Korea were sold out. The phenomenon was later dubbed by the media as the Jungkook effect, a term now used by international marketing analysts to describe the spontaneous and massive impact of a single figure on market trends. What makes this phenomenon interesting is that Jungkook never seemed to intentionally sell anything. He does not impose a certain image, does not make aggressive promotions, and instead often looks simple. But it is precisely that simplicity that is its strength. It displays authenticity that is rare in the modern entertainment world, and that authenticity is translated publicly as a form of trust. Any brand associated with it automatically gains the credibility and soul they need. This is what makes marketing executives in various parts of the world always monitor Jungkook's activities, because every appearance can mean a change in global strategy for them. If we look at it from the perspective of large corporations, such as Calvin Klein for example, Jungkook's involvement is not just an endorsement cooperation, but a cultural partnership. Since Jungkook became their global face, Calvin Klein has recorded the highest growth in digital engagement among all American fashion brands. According to Business Insider, Jungkook has revitalized the classic perception of American brands in the Asian market. That is, its presence not only increases sales, but changes the way the world sees the brand itself. From an adult fashion label to a cross-generational icon close to young pop culture. And it's not just fashion that feels the impact. The music world has undergone similar changes. When Jungkook released the song 7, digital music consumption patterns in Asia changed dramatically. Spotify noted that the surge in streaming from East and Southeast Asia hit a record high for that time of year. Analysts later called it the Jungkook wave, a new wave that not only changed music listening behavior, but also strengthened Korean artists' position as major players in the global music industry. In other words, Jungkook is not just creating hits, it creates new business models. And of course, for Hybe Jungkook's agency, this is a double-edged sword. On the one hand, they have artists with unparalleled commercial value and global influence. But on the other hand, Jungkook's dominance began to transcend the boundaries of the agency's own structure. Many Korean media speculated that Hybe now faces the challenge of balancing the focus between BTS' internal projects and Jungkook's international brand appeal. Some analysts even said that Hybe can no longer control Jungkook's narrative because his public image has grown beyond the limits of management. He is no longer just a label-owned artist, but an independent phenomenon claimed by the world. The most interesting thing is how all this happened without major scandals or excessive controversy. In the midst of a gossip-filled entertainment world, Jungkook still performs with a clean reputation and high credibility. That's why whenever his name comes up, the public response is always positive, not because of image manipulation, but because of the consistency and honesty he has shown over the years. In the modern marketing world, such a thing is pure gold value that cannot be bought with money, but can move the global market with just one small movement. And now, when we see Jungkook at the top of the K-brand index, it's not hard to understand why big brands like Dior, Prada, and even tech labels like Samsung and Apple are reportedly keeping track of his schedule. They knew that whoever managed to work with Jungkook even in just one brief moment would get something much bigger than just exposure. They will be part of a global phenomenon called the Jungkook effect. Talking about the future, observers agree that Jungkook is the most vivid representation of how the Korean entertainment industry will develop in the next decade. The world has changed. In the past, artists were only considered entertainment products now. They are cultural platforms. Jungkook is the clearest example of this transition. She's not just a singer or a model, but a cultural entity with influence across sectors, music, fashion, technology, even the digital economy. When the Asia Brand Research Institute named him as the artist with the highest brand value, it was not just a compliment to his popularity, but a recognition of the economic capacity he brought. Because every activity is now directly connected with the movement of the global creative economy. When Jungkook appeared at the Calvin Klein show in Tokyo, the search trend for Korean fashion aesthetic jumped 320% on Google Japan. When he performed at the Global Citizen Festival, the humanitarian organization recorded a 40% jump in digital donations from young users. This means that Jungkook is not just influencing the entertainment industry, he is influencing the social behavior of a new generation. This has also led many international institutions to pay more attention to the Jungkook model. Some universities in Korea even began to make his studies as analytical materials in the Department of Communication and Branding. They call it the most perfect case study of the post-idol era, in which artists are no longer part of the entertainment system, but cultural leaders who shape a new narrative. For the global entertainment world, Jungkook is now not just the face of Korea. It is a symbol that the boundary between East and West has collapsed. When he sings in English, the world listens. When he speaks in Korean, the world also understands. That's the true power of modern icons. They don't need translators, because their presence already speaks for itself. So, as we look to the future of the world's entertainment industry, one thing is clear. New standards are already being set. And the standard was named Jungkook. She is not only the artist with the highest brand index in Korea, but the face of a new global generation, a generation that no longer follows trends, but creates trends themselves. The world is now not waiting for who will replace Jungkook. The world wonders, how far will Jungkook take global culture forward?